do a deep cut on the throats with the intestines.
Later in our Ghana Man series, we'll take you to the Upper West.
It's a Sudanese architecture built with mud bricks and sticks. It was built in the 14th century, precisely in Teti.
And after initial spark over the past 2 months, you have details at 6:30.
In his plans, despite being dropped from the AFCON final list.
Let's start in Parliament, where there is an emergency meeting currently underway between the mines and energy is smuggled through the country's borders. Now, John News Expose uncovered how security operatives and politically connected individuals have been of some officials there. We'll hear from the Lands and Natural Resources Minister shortly, who's been wading into this controversy, calling this hotline documentary Busted Gold Smugglers.
This man we call Willie Brown for the small-scale mining concessions. He also has a lot of insight into the networks involved in the smuggling gold
and sell it when there is a slump in pricing.
Willie Brown promises to export.
There are shipping agents that aid us to ship gold out of the country.
He talks further about how many gold
pounds. We tuck it under traditionally woven slippers and smuggle it out of the country. They won't detect it. When you get
and Energy Committee in Parliament, John Jinapo, who has, of course, been in that meeting with the Minerals Commission.
We had a marathon meeting with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Gold smuggling came up. We discussed at length. Initially, there was some delay, and the concerns raised seriously. And so they've directed that investigation, thorough MT, would be meeting them after the investigation, and we'll be briefing the chamber and the house. Indeed, as of last year, Ghana is the #1 producer of gold in Africa. And so if we can ensure to benefit. But like I said, the ministry has assured that they are conducting thorough investigation from our side in order to ensure that we come to a logical conclusion in respect of this subject matter.
I mean, other than the president disclosed how much we're losing through smuggling of gold, and that is taking this while on the back of...
For this patriotic work that you've done. Because like you said, way back in 2018, the President Corruption Watch in 2018 also conducted some research and indicated that between 2015, that no less a person than the #1 gentleman, the President himself, would make this revelation, and yet no investor promised to a committee of Parliament. We would get the report eventually, we would study it, and we'll share it with you. But your work has elicited some response. We'll monitor it and ensure that we get to a logical conclusion of this matter.
Mr. Jinapo, thank you for your time here on Star. Has been speaking about this. It's just confirmed to the committee in the House that the security that is going to look into it because of the criminal aspects of this smuggling of gold.
We're going to conduct investigations. We're going to get a criminal investigation. We have a syndicate which smuggles gold. It's purely a criminal act, and the criminal investigation department will have to find a Minerals Commission itself. I've tasked them to come up with reforms and come up with strategies to ensure that country. But clearly we will conduct the investigations, and then we'll strengthen the institutional framework of the Minerals Commission. And
they should be dealt with.
Why not? They should be dealt with. Anybody who is involved in criminality should be dealt with. Anybody who is involved in illegality should be dealt with. But there must be investigation for the outcome of it.
And that is Abu Jinapo, who is Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. 2 first-year students with dreadlocks denied as enrollment into the Achimota school have received the backers of the school rejected, of course, the Ghana Education Service directive for the students to be enrolled. We will hear from the ranking member on the education indicating their intention to proceed to court.
They have to educate themselves. If Achimota is not ready to open their doors in respect of a child's education, the consistency of the Constitution and all that, we will test that in the court of law. Okay. So that
the minority side, Dr. Clement Park says that action, that course of action
by the parents of the wards in question to take this matter to court, I think I am afraid to say that it will reoccur, because you would have the right to education vis-a-vis the right to profess one's residence over the other, because they are all rights available. Right. And I think that is why perhaps going to the court to seek
us to find out what the ministry is doing?
Well, I doubt whether he would have a lot to say about reject the fact that these students qualify and have gained admission. I think the decision by the school is that they have a code. They have to take his or her place as a student in that institution, although qualified, what is said. And I also say so because of the backtracking that has allowed the students to take up their rightful places and to, commence, their academic work.
Right.
And the GES is under the Ministry of Education. Then it presupposes that
Well, today we're also hearing from the Parents Teacher Association of the Achimota School and PTA, Dr. Andre Kwisukuma.
Yes, Achimota School is about 94 years old now, and rule, ensures uniformity, decency, simplicity, and all of that. And these are values we want in hijab, because the school rule says that no headgear, no long hair, cut your hair simple, short, and natural. The rule has been enforced already, and we should be maintained. Well, since the statement was released, I can tell you that I've got a lot of calls and messages. The statement we've released, I was surprised. I thought it may be 60-40%, but it's about 99% commending us for the statement. Much more positive feedback that we are receiving. To you, as a father, as a parent, 2 of my kids have passed through Achimota. My third, let's not just Rastafarian hairstyle, but other fanciful or other kinds of hairstyle lacks it for everyone else. And we could have other types of hairstyles, both decent and indecent, all over the place in the school.
So, meanwhile, what's the impact of all this controversy on the teenagers at this joining in this whole fight over dreadlocks? We're learning a bit more about this. The father, one of the 2 teenagers on the back of the controversy, Ras Aswad in Krabia, says his son is currently being given psychological treatment.
Yes, they have, and that's what they did. They didn't consider, these are 2 children. One is 6. One got aggregate 6 and one aggregate 10. Those are dreadlocks. So they are violating the Constitution.
That's not their problem.
I don't see where the Constitution have given them that right to violate the child rights in taking it to court for the court to define.
When are you going to court?
This week.
You're going to court?
Yeah, we're going to file a document.
Public school in Ghana have come under pressure to cut their dreadlocks.
The kids, and then when they came home in the evening, they brought a report that the old students, came up to me, in the one office there, and he started telling me that the school, they have to leave, And then he went on to say he has spoken with the girls. In fact, he really liked them, they are disciplined.
On this story as it's still unfolding, 055-1111-997 to the perennial traffic congestion on the Accra-Kumasi highway, but it has worsened to what that has for years supplied fresh water for many in an area hard hit by Accra's poor water supply system. In this week's
Interchange is West Africa's first 3-tier interchange, a multi-million-dollar mega project. In its shadows lie the forest. It is from here that the Sunkwa River finds its source.
This interchange
has created a narrow gutter for the river. The river's course of flow has been reduced in size, at least 3 times.
River. And now that they've constructed this interchange, the water has been polluted. So pipe-borne water,
taking its source from the Sunkwa. For 2 years, it's been under lock. The impact of this is biting hard, and the people feeling the pinch are Pokuase's most vulnerable.
When private water sellers do not sell to us, we do not get water. We have to buy expensive water.
The Sunkwa forest is a stark reminder of the state destruction it has suffered, and this may well get worse in the future. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Pokuase.
And my name is Evans Mensah, live from the studios here. Among the ranks of the NDC minority, that's according to the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyomarkin. Recent brouhaha involving NDC Communications Officer Sambi Jemfi and the minority leadership. Mr. Afenyomarkin says the development questions last night.
We have to control the extremists who try to impose their views on us as politicians. Because it won't take this.
True.
Every single line of that letter. When I first saw it, I thought it was some fake news. For the NDC leadership in Parliament to call off the bluff of the extremists who are operate for them and educate their extremists that this is not the way parliamentary politics is conducted. Because you see, we work to make it difficult for you. I've served in Parliament in opposition before, and I remember our leadership at the time telling us that, look, the exuberance is there, but in parliamentary politics, express your view, but don't hold hostage the fortune. The NDC machinery in Parliament, if I were to be Harun Idrisu, I would just simply resign and leave the scene for them. Because one day, why? They lost, they won, we lost. So whatever you are, and tell you that this is what you did.
You think the extremists?
No, I am saying that the extremists operating at their party headquarters are the people. You see, they created a predetermined mindset when we're doing the vetting. And somebody like I had views, and I'm sure you cannot push him. Harun Idrisu, fine gentleman, at backbench, if Akoto say, calls you to order, you dare not. He was not even a leader, but he was a chairman of a ranking member. I think so. Because, you see, we are running a opposition, minority, majority. You are paid. We are paid.
Well, the member of parliament and NDC MPs.
The so-called foot soldiers have a legitimate case why they had concerns that it wasn't just the foot soldiers, but civil society, people in the media, express, they sit down and think that the NDC foot soldiers are the problem. Is mistaken.
What about the few?
They are executives of the party on whose ticket we rode to victory, and we are sitting in parliament with the labeling of those as extremist executives.
Well, I
tried. Yes. Many people who are not even NDC.
Did you agree with him?
Oh, I agree with Sami Jemfi. I speak into his commentary about the performance of the NDC.
His attack on yourselves?
I have no issue with his attack on me, and I have said it on. And so, to some extent, there's some supervisory relationship that exists between. Yes.
But you haven't, because in the minister's case,
you should try to pursue that interest in the sense that it wasn't just something that only NDC members were saying, but even a wider civil society uses very hard words in rebuking his side, who from the voting party.
I agree with him, but you voted against his position.
People voted against his position. You can't tell who voted.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
Voted along the position that people like Sami Jemfi expressed.
True.
A few people voted against. Now, I also did no leadership of ours will be changed.
So you don't agree that it should?
No leadership of ours will be changed.
Hama Ayariga there. We'll be speaking to the leadership of the minority side in the House on this allegation. A few of your messages that we're receiving on the stories we've looked at so far. And as usual, many of you are interested in the... this one from Walanyo says, we Ghanaians have difficult issues facing us daily, but we are silent, worshipping white and shoes unattended. Let's get serious as Ghanaians. Andrew in Tema sent us that one. Walanyo says, but it has policies, rules and regulations, just like the workplace and institutions also. Walanyo sent two quick comments on those two stories. Kweku Anand says that he will not, may not, and cannot go after top echelons within the national security architecture who are also collaborators in smuggling. Cannot happen without politicians playing a role. Look at how Ghana is suffering from this Galamsey menace. And a comment from Nana on the Spinkters Road. He says, sad that we look at the Rasta boy being forced to cut their hair as a school demands so. Why should a boy be admitted with dreadlocks? All schools have ruled. In Adenta says if they admit those students, will they still punish students with bushy hair again? Because they can also say they are going out once I receive them. This It's News Studies on Joy 99.7 FM. Still ahead, 27-year-old man.
The boy is pressing on him, really deep cuts on the troops with the intention.
We have details for you, plus later on the Ghana Man series, we'll take you to the Upper West, home of the popular black and white narcotic.
Mud bricks and sticks. It was built in the 14th century, precisely in 1308.
Details of that and more.
Action in prices of foodstuffs from next month, after we've seen some marginal reduction this month and also some identification as a major revenue boost. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Essentials and Allianz Insurance.
That's the sound of my heart breaking the first time I harnessed in agriculture. Oh, my first harvester. Endless number of calls for my quick fufu all year round.
There are beautiful connections that bridge humble todays to amazing tomorrows. On Journey at Allianz has seen our operations growing to cover over 92 million Allianz customers in over 70 countries worldwide. Allianz Life Insurance individual, family, group, corporate body, as well as their employees. Kindly call us on 030www.allianz-gh.com for more enquiries. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
Now, prices of foodstuffs are expected to decline further from the next month. Now, that's the projection, January, but drop marginally in the early part of this month. Content developer Tisoko Francis Danso has been given weeks.
If we do not get any external shocks, supply, it's okay, the coming season. And so fairly there is enough supply, which means that prices should fairly be stable. Even if we are going to see arrival of the vaccines, we expect that people will begin to calm down and then production.
But there have been instances where supply has picked up, but the funny aspect of it was that prices also went up. Let's stick to the price.
With pricing, you realize that you will find some few markets increase. One of the major markets where food prices are normally low. When you see prices from one or two markets increasing their prices, but if you put everything together, we are saying that the effect will be that we will.
And that is content developer at Isoko Francis Danso. Now, tax consultant boost that is from next to tax day, April 1, the Ghana card number will replace the tax identification number by persons for tax purposes. The material tells Joy Business the move by government can be described as timely.
Attempt at individuals, because remember, taxpayers are in groups. You have the entities and then you have the individuals. Now, you can tell you use the Ghana card to identify taxpayers. You have done what we need to be able to level up on is to still proceed on the tangent of getting people to get their national ID cards, and then based on that national ID card.
As a tax consultant. Now, the Bank of Ghana says it is planning to increase financial inclusion to cover more than 80% of the joint virtual meetings on digital financial services working group forum, according to the governor of the region. Now, about 10,000 or 10 trade unions have disassociated themselves from the court injunction being pursued by a section of traders groups, and has the rest of the story.
Some traders at the Kumasi Central Market last Friday went to the Human Rights Court. They are also praying to court to force KMA to properly document their relocation to avoid future implications. But some trade the Kumasi Redevelopment Project. Leader of the 10 unions, Moses Che, spoke to Love News.
For just some few ago, not to proceed with this project is something that is unheard of.
The KMA should give us an official statement showing where they'll.
We are deliberating on the issue as a union in KMA because we also like the construction of the new market.
Kofi Asari's report
announced the extension of time for listed companies, or some of the listed companies include Fan Milk PLC, the Trust Bank Limited, that is the Gambia, Danex, Iton, Starwen PLC, Leicester Kitchen. These companies have been granted extension of time to submit their audited financial statement for the year ending. Newsnight back to you, Evan, because it looks like you have some news just coming in, right?
Thank you very much. And of course, Mr. Alote Jacobs, my colleague Kweku Asante has a copy of that. What does the statement say?
Right, Evan. So this statement, Jacobs says, at our meeting on Wednesday, 17th March, the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC, pursuant to Article 48(1)(b) and 8(b) of the NDC Constitution, the committee's report, your immediate expulsion from the party. The Functional Executive Committee, acting in compliance of Article 48(1) of the decision of FEC, been expelled from the NDC and for that matter no more recognized as a member of the party and that may be in your custody and shall forfeit any monies, dues or subscription fees made to the party.
Mr. Alote Jacobs, have you been formally served?
No.
Okay, but it refers to a meeting you had with the party held to deliberate on the petition that was before it.
Well, I don't know any petition.
What's your reaction? The party said
executives are living in fantasy. I've already announced to the whole world that I have left the party, and if they think that they have any property with me, you see, I don't want to describe the letter as being a stupid letter. And so and so.
Do you have any party property in your possession?
Well, unless
you don't have any party property in your possession.
I say unless they tell me. So tell them, or they should go to the police, report me to the police that I have such things. I will give it back. I will give it back to them.
The charge is that you have been
ordinary human beings finding me guilty. When I have left the party, you find me. I have my own self-opinion on our political landscape. So I will talk about it. To jump into the deep because he is a party officer. I won't do that. I have my conscience. About 2 weeks ago, I said I have resigned from the party. I'm no longer a member of NDC. And then they come with a letter.
Yeah, I'm curious why you took the decision to
resign. They should have written that they have accepted money in the party that formally wrote to them. When you are joining a party, do you write to them that you are joining?
I guess you pick up a member. Is Mr. Alote Jacobs now former NDC member, a member of any political party now? Describe you as.
Yes. I'm a social commentator. I don't want to even the word NDC, just a social commentator. I say I will not join any political party, but I will support Fado and Baumia because of...
And Baumia?
Yes.
Because of their leadership?
They are doing so well. They are doing so well. That political career, I have never worshipped anybody. I don't believe in personality cults. If that would
support the party?
No, I don't support their party, and I will never be a member of MPP. Never will I be a member of MPP. Why not? He is the latest kid on the block when it comes to our politics.
And you say Donado has done far better than your former good friend?
Let me tell you this. In Britain, don't let us believe in personalities. We believe in leadership. The word leadership. Leadership that can change and...
I'm grateful that you joined us with your thoughts. That's Joseph Alote Jacobs there, who is a former Central a social commentator.
Hey, I say, mix the cement in correct proportional.
That's what I say. What do you change the year of return and casa?
Hey, contractor, a danya wasting ye. Hey, what would you make feel it too much? You quality no quatin. Yeah, you see gas some cement and your pudio womo. One package na on no
quality. Choose the value Gasm offers you always.
In these uncertain times, stay safe and follow all the COVID-19 safety protocols.
Gasm.
I'm laughing like killer. In this day and age, your excuse for not making 500% bonus anytime you buy credit via Vodafone Cash or Vodafone Credit Transfer. Hey, my friend, you don't have an excuse, oh. Excuse no shit. Dial *110# or visit the nearest credit transfer vendor to buy credit because
Annual 3 Music Awards 2021 live on Joy Prime TV, at Dome TV, and on 3 Music as well. Follow us on Facebook and on Jackie, Dead People, Kwaku Flick, Yal Talk, Kofi Jamar, Miss V, Jalid, LaRusso, Dinah Hamilton, Afik, and Joy Entertainment. And powered by Boomplay, HD Plus, 3 Music Awards 2021 HD Experience Partner, Graphic Showbiz, Pulse GH, NYDJ, Ghana Music, and GeorgeBritain.com respectively. The Radio Advertising People Trap and the
3 Music here for the music. Hans Mensa Andor here for sports.
And
expulsions.
Are flying all over the
Yeah.
place.
Talk to me.
Well, let's get into sports. And the Black Stars, they held their Principe. Some players were absent in today's training. One of them was 17-year-old Abdul Fattah Isahaku, who was dropped, was called up by Coach CK Akon ahead of the AFCON qualifiers last week after his impressive showing at the Under-20 AFCON. His recent omission from the final list raised out of his plans. Stars B, and but will not be part of the list that will be taken on South Africa late on Thursday.
Tragic story of another killing. It appears to be another killing involving 2 partners. In 25 is battling for his life at the Ho Government Hospital. Doctors are doing all they can to stabilize Anthony Dodoy, who is said to have suffered serious injuries from room with his intestines gushing out. Harriet, whom he is allegedly to have killed, was lying in a pool of blood. Here's a...
In the early hours of Tuesday, a loud cry from Harriet's room startled neighbors who rushed there only on blood splattered all over the carpet.
Before you can hear, you hear a big noise. I'm in trouble. Killed his girlfriend in the room over there.
26-year-old with a knife in an attempt to also end his life. According to eyewitnesses,
he wanted to kill himself, but God not give chance to kill himself. So he cut his belly. The ceiling also fall with him. The chiba the hall, you have a chiba hall ceiling. So the ceiling all falls.
The two had helped her mother trade while Anthony played football. Harriet's mother, Akpene, who is yet to recover.
I had a call asking me where, than to cry. Police consoled me and then went to take the body away. The boy was my daughter's boyfriend.
Well, the police have since begun investigations into the matter. Ho Municipal Commander Superintendent Anthony Danso
Dodoy, this person on him is a hospital facility. We were unable to do in-depth investigation.
Well,